Welcome to today's training, Choice Boards and Gale Resources from Discus. This training is in partnership with Discus, and my name is Tammy Burke. I'm a senior training consultant from Gale, and I am excited to talk to you about how you can use choice boards with your Gale resources. So my goal today is for you all to have a better understanding of the resources you have available from Discus, and then talk to you about how to use those resources with choice boards. Um, and if you could real quick in the Q&A, could you let me know if you have any experience with choice boards? So either you're a beginner or maybe you're an advanced user of choice boards, just so I have an idea of background knowledge as I'm working through this information, because what I'm focusing on today is the choice boards, a little bit of what choice boards are, very little, and then but focusing more on the content and really the tools within the resources to connect to choice boards. Okay, perfect. So thank you for letting me know. And that no experience is also experience in some way, right? So I will talk a little bit more about choice boards and how they are being used in the classroom. I have created three for you all. And you are able to use these within your libraries and classrooms or use them as templates to create your own choice boards. So I will share those. I have a link to the PowerPoint slides, which has each of those choice boards within. So it's and I'll talk a little bit more about choice boards as we work through the session here. So let me get started. So we are going to start first with an overview of your Gale resources and talk a little bit about choice boards. And then we will be browsing the resource features and the choice boards. And then questions, please feel free to ask anytime. That Q&A box is open. And also I will share with you at the end where you can go for additional support. And you have your folks at Discus. If you're looking for support, I would go to them first. And then you also have one-on-one support with our folks at Gale. So I'll share all of that information at the end of today's training. First, to access your Discus resources, and these are available to everyone in the state, you can go to this site and access all of your resources that you have available from Discus, including the ones that I'm going to talk to you today about, some of the Gale resources, but you also have resources from other vendors available. Let me share with you what you have available. These are the three we are going into today. So you have Gale in Context Elementary. This is, I'll talk a little bit more about these three. I have individual slides on them, but we have three from the In Context family of resources: elementary, biography, and opposing viewpoints. Elementary is designed for our K through 5 students, and biography is used at the middle school and high school level, a little bit at the elementary, but more for our parents because it is a higher reading level. But there's some great videos and images available for students. But really, if parents are supporting elementary students, they can, or teachers, there's fantastic biographical content here within this resource, but it's just the reading level is much higher. And then opposing viewpoints for our high schoolers. Some middle schoolers utilize this resource too. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. Brand new, started March 1st, you now have access to Chilton Library. Chilton Library is great for any of your CTE classes, any of those mechanic type classes, or even car enthusiasts. You have students that are probably interested in cars, and even for your everyday folks like myself, if looking at, changing my air filter and not being charged when I go to get my oil change, that $30 when I can buy the same air filter for 12. I just changed them all. I have 3 kids and I changed them in all their cars. And Chilton was really helpful in finding that. And one of them, I didn't even know where it was located at in the car. It was very confusing because it was not where, wasn't in the glove compartment actually to go through under the hood, which was different. So anyhow, things like that. It's good information to have, but it is a new resource that you have available. It also has an ASE prep test, so a quiz is available, so for anyone taking that exam. And again, more for our students that are going into that type of career. You also have a fantastic ebook collection. You have our For Students collection. So you have drama for students, novels for students, poetry, and short stories. Those For Students ebook collection are all available on Gale eBooks, but Discus has also pulled each collection and created the sub collections of each one. So if you just want drama for students, then you can go into that ebook collection. Great to share with a lot of your high school teachers, or if we have any public libraries or higher ed folks on the line today, also fantastic resources with just the sheer amount of content there is just amazing that you have, because they bought the collection. So you have multiple volumes available, and you may have For Students series on your shelf in your library, but here you also have them digitally with all of the Gale tools that you have available within the resources. So let's talk about the Gale resources and choice boards. First, let's talk about choice board. What is a choice board, and how can it be used? So let's talk a little bit about that. Choice boards they're really what they are is a graphic organizer, and they allow students to choose different ways to learn about a particular concept or topic. They give students ownership over their own learning by giving them choice about their learning path. Many choice boards link to external digital content, and that's what I'm going to show you today, such as Gale resources from Discus. These are also great for learning loss. We found that we worked with a group of actually two librarians that were helping their district with that learning loss, or the reading levels are a lot lower after COVID that they're finding in students, and they needed some different ideas, and choice boards is a route that they took where the students are selecting what they're interested in and doing that additional research or reading or whatever the case may be, and they utilize Gale resources. So that's where this actual idea for this session came, and I've run it a couple times. I was at Skazel last week and did this session at the conference. So, and I was asked to do it also virtually. So let's talk about your three individual resources that we're going to cover today. And that first one is Gale in Context Elementary. This is cross-curricular general reference for kindergarten through fifth grade students, but our middle schoolers can access it if they need to. You might have some middle schoolers that need that additional support with a little lower reading levels. They can utilize Gale in Context Elementary. There's trusted reference content, top periodicals, fantastic videos and images, very rich multimedia. You'll also find support for curriculum standards and frequently studied topics such as animals and animal life, nature, history, geography, science, health literature, and more. And to enhance teaching and learning, this is a safe place to find answers, to practice research skills, and explore interests. You don't have to worry about any pop-up ads or any content not being at their level, reading level, and also their school level. So it's safe, vetted, authoritative content for our kindergarten through fifth grade students. So here's a choice board I created, and the topic of my choice is what is weather. And what I did, and there's a QR code if you would like, and that QR code will take you to the PowerPoint slide deck, or there's a bit.ly URL at the bottom, and let me put that URL. I thought I had it up here. It doesn't look like I do. I will put that in the chat too. So for those watching, there it is. Those watching the recording, you have it there on the screen. And for those that are in the live session, I am going to put it right in the chat. Okay. Now it'll take you to this entire deck, meaning that you'll have these three choice boards that I created ready to go. So what you can do is, and the topic is, and this is, based on curriculum, what is the weather? We're looking at weather. And what you can do is each of these boxes has a certain topic: snow, thunderstorms, wind, tornado, hurricane. And each of them is actually linked to content within your Gale resources. So if I click on snow, and now let me share my other screen, it opens this document. So what I did is I linked out this article that I wanted to share with my students and attached it to the image in my PowerPoint. How did I do that? I used the Get Link tool. It creates a persistent URL back to any spot within the resource. And the nice thing why I selected this article on snow is because it does have both a level 1 and level 2. So level 1s, level 2s are generally lower and upper elementary. Level 3 is more at that middle school level. And we say generally because kids don't fit into a box. They are at all different levels. And then we do have, you'll see in our other in context resources, level 4s and 5s, which is more of that high school and all the way to undergrad level. So, and these are related to Lexile measures. So, and I can share a little bit more with you about that in a moment, but let's look at what we have here in this article. So selecting this article, by giving students a choice, they were able to select which weather they wanted to learn about first. And I could say, you know, looking at my choice board, I could say, okay, you need to select at least 3 of these topics, right? And then maybe we're meeting in groups, we're coming back together, we're discussing all of them, or maybe I'm breaking them into groups a little bit and having them choose between 2, or, you know, there's all kinds of different things you can do with that choice in your libraries or in the classroom. And as a former educator, there's, I mean, so many, even as a center, if you wanted to do this as a center idea, something you can do when you're working with students. But here it is, it takes them directly into the resource to a specific article. And this one has main ideas. It's a level 2. I usually see main ideas on the level 2 documents. And then the level 1s sometimes have the words to know. Let me click into it and see. And the image will, oh, it logged me out. Hold on a second. Okay. The level 1 is the words to know section here. Okay. So you do have some tools to support accessibility that I want to touch on. I do have the ability to listen to the text being read aloud. So even if this is for your lower elementary, this can be a great way for students to access this reading content at their reading level, but also get that help by listening to it being read aloud to them. So you do have this listen feature. And I'm going to, this is available in all of your Gale resources, not just in elementary. You have that listen feature at that document level in all your resources. And I can listen to it. It highlights as it's being read aloud to me. A feature I want to point out to you, and this is a feature that once I set it up on one document, it'll stick with me throughout my session, where under the settings, so that little gear, I open the listen button, I clicked play, and under this little settings gear here, I have some options of what I can, as far as color choice or what's being highlighted. It's defaulted to word and sentence, but maybe I just want word or don't want any highlighting. But I also can turn on, right in the middle of the page here, do you see enhanced text visibility? I can turn that on. I can also slow down the speed, great for our English learners. When I turn that on and then click the play button, it pulls out that text onto the page. So this is really great for emergent readers, but also any students who need that extra support. And again, this tool is available in all of your Gale resources. So we keep that consistency across our learning that's happening. I can also download and listen to this as an MP3. Few other accessibility tools, I have the ability to make the text smaller or larger. And again, this sticks with me throughout my session, just as having that enhanced text visibility turned on, it'll stick with me throughout my session. I also have the ability to, and this one is being tricky. I'm going to show you, I'll show you display options in one that starts with a lot of text. And then I have the ability to translate and then the information icon is at the end. I'm going to talk about these two in an article that doesn't start with an image. So all I did, again, if I go back to my choice board, this is a little bit easier when I'm on one screen. I go back to my choice board, and what I did is you could hyperlink out any spot. I could make it the number. If you do the text, a little tip, if you do happen to add the get link to the text, it will underline it like a hyperlink. So beware of that. So I did the images because that made sense to me. I think kids will go to the image first. So click on the image. And then this one actually is a video on thunderstorms. So let me share that. So it opens up, takes my students directly to this spot. And here's a video on thunderstorms. Closed captioning is on. I could make this whole screen, but there's also the text below, the transcript, I should say. Okay. All right, let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint, and so you understand the idea of choice boards, where you're giving students exactly that. You're giving them a choice that's still on a certain topic that you've selected or aligns to curriculum, or as a unit of study, but then they are making the selection of what they want to learn about. And it can take you to, as you noticed, it was an article. I took a video. It could be an image if you wanted to, a timeline if you're looking at maybe a timeline or an infographic. A lot of our elementary, in Gale and Context Elementary, you'll find a lot of infographics available within the resource. So you could link directly to an infographic. I mean, it really is your choice. Whatever you find in the resource, all you have to do is use the Get Link tool and hyperlink it to an image or whatever you decide. Now, I created these in PowerPoint because I had to stick to our Gale branding. But if you would like free choice board slides, you could go to Slides Mania. We don't work with them or anything like that. I just did a search to see if I could find some free ones, and that's where I found them. Let me see if I can pull that link up real quick for you. I just think I just searched for choice boards and it came up. Yeah, here it is. Google Slides, PowerPoints. Maybe I'll go back. I'll do that real quick for you. Choice boards and education. Obviously, I've searched it before. Oh, Edutopia has some too. Oh, now they're not coming up at all. But it is called Slides Mania. But there's so many out there that you can choose from. It looks like you've got a couple different options available here if you just Google it. So yeah, I'll see at the end of the session. I'll take a deeper look and see if I can find them, the one I was talking about. But let's go. So we're in our PowerPoint. Let me go back to these slides and click on the next one and talk to you about, so this is for elementary. Let's talk about some documents, or we do have training materials available too. So not only do you have the ability to link content in a choice board, but we also have student activities available on our Gale support site. And here is one. There's a link at the bottom of this screen. And again, if you're getting the whole PowerPoint, you'll have all these links also. I'll give you a QR code here in a second. And this is developing early research skills. So it starts with a teacher tip sheet, and these all live on our Gale support site. And then we have step 1 is choosing a topic. Step 2 is investigating. And step 3 is planning. So we have these materials available on the Gale support site for you all to use with your choice boards or with your Gale and Context Elementary resource. And there's a QR code if you would like to grab that. And that link will take you directly to this 4-page document. But it all lives again on the training support site. I'll give you that main link at the end of today's session. You just go into the training center and look at Gale and Context Elementary, and you'll find all of these resources there. All right, let's talk about Gale and Context biography. You will find premium resources, again, trusted reference content, including Lives and Perspectives. You'll find top periodicals, videos, images, audio files, great primary sources, biographies. There's timelines in here also. You'll find that in the images. To support curriculum standards, you'll find contextual information on the world's most influential, searched and studied people based on occupation or historical period. To enhance teaching and learning, you have Google and Microsoft integration, unlimited print, download, and email, and then there's the highlights and notes feature that is available. The choice board I did applies to this month, important women in history, specifically looking at women's suffrage. Again, the same idea where I linked out the picture because I thought that that would be easier for students, and that's probably where they're going to click. I did, I'll show you on the next and the high school resource choice board how I had to do it a little differently because the choice board's a little different. So these actually will take you to, instead of an individual article, what I've done is I have linked out our topic pages. So let me talk to you a little bit about topic pages. So I'm going to click on this first one, Susan B. Anthony, and share that screen with you. So it takes me directly to Gale in Context Biography and to the entire topic page. Now, topic pages are curated collections of information. They are related to curriculum standards. We also look at usage. Our content editors develop them and then pull in all of this great content in this nice organized way. So they all start with an image and an essay overview, and then we're in biography. So we're going to get some quick facts here because we are looking at a person. We have in the center of the page all of the different content types that we have available. And then we have featured content, biographies, images. Here's that timeline I mentioned, audio files, magazines, news articles, academic journals, including peer-reviewed, websites, and then any related topic pages below. Okay, so I am out of the state of South Carolina. I'm actually in Michigan. So when I select anything, it's going to make me log back in. So you all won't have to deal with that when you authenticate or share a link to something using the Get Link tool. And that's all I did. I looked at the looked specifically for Susan B. Anthony, and then I again used the Get Link tool. And now this time, instead of taking them to an individual document, I took them to an entire topic page. Something else I could do with that Get Link, and if I want them to, okay, they're choosing the person and now they have some certain tests. Maybe they're looking for certain articles. Or I want them to pull some images together. I can do a couple different things. So if now it will bump me out to log in. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. Man, it's interesting. I logged, it did earlier, and that's why I thought it was going to again. Okay, so featured content is an area I selected, right? Now, what I could do, and this is along those lines of how to use choice boards or how to use your Gale resources in choice boards, is I could filter this information down. So you can see I have some level 4s here because this resource is used at the middle school and a lot at the high school level. And our featured section of any of our resources is hand selected by our content editors. So we call this the best of the best. It's because it's been hand selected by them. But I can, these topic pages are nice organized content, and I can filter this information down. So if I wanted to filter by content level, and here are those content levels. Remember, we talked about level 1s and 2s in elementary. We have level 3 here. We have also 4s and 5s. So maybe I want level 3s, but I also want some level 4s. I can apply that. And then now I filter down all of my content, not just the featured content. And I can use my Get Link tool and create a link back to this filtered content. So that's another option with your choice boards. If you don't want to take them to the entire topic page, maybe you just want to filter some of this content down, or you have students that need it to be filtered down a little bit more, but still you want them to continue their research or work on their project. This is a great way to do that, where you can use the filter tools and then grab a link back to this specific content. Now, if I go back to my topic page, another feature that we have available on the topic page is the image and essay overview. And I want to touch into this real quick. The image and essay overview is this is written by Gale. So we publish this content. So you're going to find a couple different things here. You may find some text features as I'm seeing here at the top. In opposing viewpoints, you might find some critical thinking questions that are attached to anything that we've published. We started adding them late 2017 to our own published content. So, but this is a great overview. So this might be where you want to link them back to or direct them in your directions. Okay, I'm taking you to the topic page. Start with the essay overview. Start with the first document. What I also really love is that this explore panel. So if you are giving that choice to the topic page, you can also suggest that they access the more like this information. Now, this might be more a little bit higher level research skills, but something to always introduce to them because the more like this in this explore panel is these articles are linked to or similar are on the same topic of the one that we're on. So it's similar information, just different sources. Not the exact information by any means. Also, let me go back to our home page. I had briefly pointed out images, and we do have these timelines. Like I said, in Gale in Context Elementary, we have great infographics. We have a lot of timelines here in biography, Gale in Context biography, which can be a really helpful tool to students. And then the biographical content. So maybe that's the route I want to take. Here's all the biographies. I might want to filter this information down and share it with students, or I could grab a link just back to the 11 biographies and link that into my choice board. It's really up to you where you want to direct your students to with the content. Do you want to give them a lot of information or a little bit, or do you just want them to get right to the article, document, image, video? It's completely up to you. Okay, it all works the same. Another feature I want to share with you that's available in your Gale resources. So this is on top of a little outside of the choice boards. Okay, the QR code for this is asking for a Microsoft login. It could be your phone acting a little weird. I'm not sure. It seems to be working fine on, you shouldn't be, there's a, you know what? There's a link at the end, a QR code at the very end to the entire PowerPoint. And maybe that one will work better. I had that happen to someone else in my session when I was, but only one person. So unfortunately, I think you might be that one person. I'm sorry, but I have another one that I tried and it seemed to work fine. And it's at the very end, and I'll share that with you before you leave today. To the individual resources, like if you were grabbing the QR code to the activities that I've been sharing, those should take you right into those activities. So let me know if you're having any trouble with those at all. Okay, so I wanted to share with you Topic Finder. It is here in your filtering your results. It also lives in the toolbar and it's also on the home page. And what it is, let me just click into it and share with you. It's a visual representation of your search results. So you're going to see this in your search results where you have the ability to drill down and we're in the tiles view, you could be in the wheel and find that additional content. So she was a leader. Here are 3 articles about Susan B. Anthony being a leader or an activist. One on suffrage. So Topic Finder is a great tool that's available. You can either pull in your search results as I did with the search term of Susan B. Anthony, or if I were starting from the home page, I have Topic Finder here. Sorry, my caption is in the way. There we go. And I could type in Susan B. Anthony. And I could kick off my search from here. Now it's going to look a little different because it is pulling in anything in the first 100 words of the subset with Susan B. Anthony in them. So it looks more at the keyword, where the curated collection on the topic page is exactly that. It's been selected for you and aligns directly to Susan B. Anthony. So be aware of that you might find a little bit more in here, or maybe it's an article not on Susan B. Anthony, but also it's on, Susan B. Anthony is mentioned in that article, but the topic might be something else, where on the topic page it's focused more on Susan B. Anthony. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, but I wanted to just share that with you. Another tool is the person search, and that lives under advanced search, where I can choose. I have some pre-search limiters that I can choose, including occupation. So if I was looking for a feminist, and maybe also I want to put in activist, and then click search, and I didn't put in anything else, it'll take me to a list of all of those people. So that was their occupation. All right, so just a few other helpful tools within the resource. Let me go back to the PowerPoint and share with you the activity. So we have a women's suffrage project pack. Here's the QR code for that. And it is ready to go for you. It works with Gale in Context biography, and it is looking at women's suffrage. So we have a page here on Susan B. Anthony, and that's how, when I was creating my choice board, I actually used this as a model to utilize this activity after the fact. So that's something else that you can do with your Gale resources and with the materials that we've created for you all. The last resource we are going to talk about today is Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints. Opposing Viewpoints is hot topics, controversial issues. You'll find social issues in here, but again, trusted reference content, top periodicals. We show all sides of the issue, left, right, and center. So you'll get all that type of publication information, videos, images, audio, statistics. We also have viewpoint essays and interactive infographics available within this resource. To support curriculum standards, you'll find frequently studied topics in current social issues, controversial topics, supporting science, social studies, and the language arts. And then also integration with Google, Microsoft, print, email, download, and then highlights and notes tool. So let's take a look at that choice board. So this one I did a little different. I had some specific questions, and I had to use the information icon here so that to link out. It made it a little bit easier. It was being, and I don't know if this is a PowerPoint thing, but it was being a little funny about the where I linked it in this image. I was trying to use this little quote box or speech bubble, and it was acting a little funny. So I ended up adding an information icon, which makes it really easy. And this is talking about inflation. And I did leave some directions. Use claim evidence and reasoning to support your answers. Again, here's the QR code, takes you back to the entire PowerPoint slide deck, and then the link is at the bottom. So if I wanted to go into why do wages rise, let me click on the information icon, and it takes me directly to that article. Now, I said I would talk to you a little bit more about the features and tools to support accessibility. Let me reset this one because it's already turned on. There we go. We do have the ability to translate the text, and this is in all of your Gale resources, into over 50 languages. And that's this little translate icon there. And I talked about increase or decrease. I also can change the display. Let me show you what that looks like, where I can change the color behind the text. I can change the font to open dyslexic. I have line, letter, and word spacing. And this will stick with me throughout my session also. And then again, I can listen to the text being read aloud. If I want to go back to my original settings, I just open it back up, back to default settings, and click done. Still have that explore panel. I want to share this with my students. I can just use that get link tool and pull it right into my choice board. We also have the ability to send this article to Google or Microsoft. We have our quick send options here. You can email, download, or print. And then also in our contextual toolbar at the top. And we put it up there because if we get to this point, and you can see here, this is a viewpoint essay that starts with the article commentary, but also provides you with 3 questions to consider as you're reading the article. So if I wanted to send this, I could quickly send it to Google, OneDrive, email, download, or print. So that little paper airplane at the top. I also, if I wanted to use highlights and notes, I could highlight over a chunk of text. Maybe this is yellow and this is question 1. I can save that. And then as I scroll down, maybe here's the answer to that question. I also want to make it yellow and I don't know, put in some information. Maybe these are some facts and my summary. Of course, I would actually type it out, and save that. Now, if I send this article to Google, Microsoft Download, or print or email, it will be marked up. It will land in, if I'm sending it to say Google Drive, it'll land in a folder for Google Drive titled Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints. It'll be marked up, turns it into a Google document, and it's there until I choose to delete it. So if I am using claim evidence and reasoning to answer these questions, right, on my choice board, my question was, why do wages rise? I would want to look for that in this article. But another way to use highlights and notes is just as I've shared with you. Okay. And then here's the heading, why do wages rise? So the answer to my question could very well be in here, where I might want to highlight, or will be in here, not very well, will be in here. And I can highlight that area. And there's my answer. Now, something else I can do is I can, like I said, send this to Google, right? And I also have a highlights and notes section that's being built out. And that's up here in the upper right corner. I can view all highlights and notes. I do have to highlight on a document first. And then here, what I like to call digital notes. I can send these to Google, Microsoft email. I can download them. I can print them off. The nice thing is my bibliography is attached. So if I were in multiple articles, I could have a full bibliography, but I'm just in the one because I'm answering my question, why do wages rise? So what I could do is the assignment could also be, okay, when you find the answer, use highlights and notes. Highlights and notes is a great mini lesson for libraries to do with students because it's a tool that's across all of your Gale resources. And it's great to talk to them about text and plagiarism when they're younger, but actually really any age. And then also when they are pulling out, looking for those main ideas or looking for an answer to a question, you can utilize it that way. And they can just send this directly to their Google Drive and then they have their answer to part 1 with their notes. And their notes can be edited before they send it. So they can add in whatever notes they want to and save it and then send it. Okay. All right, so we talked about tools to support accessibility. We talked about Google and Microsoft. I also have the ability to pull content directly into my Google Classroom if you're using Google Classroom. So once you sign in, if you're set up as a teacher, you can pull content directly into your Google Classroom, make an announcement, create an assignment, do all the same functionality that you can in Classroom. It's just you're pulling this directly in, so it makes it really easy. Let me go back to my PowerPoint and share with you the activity that goes along with this choice board. And we actually have 2. So argumentative writing, we have a lesson plan with an activity, and then we also have an activity for writing a persuasive paper. So the lesson plan is at the beginning, but then this is a multi-page lesson plan with student activities built in. Here's that link and QR code. This one it's focusing on argumentative writing. So you'll find like one of the student activities here is claim evidence and reasoning. That's one of I think there's 2 or 3 available as options within this lesson plan. And then interested in writing a persuasive paper, here's the first page for our educators. And the second one is persuasive paper research workshop or worksheet. So there's other links. So I could use these 2 activities with my choice boards. Another thing that was shared with me when I was at the conference, which was very interesting, if you are using Destiny, you can actually create, and I had a librarian in the session that created the beginnings of a choice board at the end of the session. She was sharing it with me. So to remember how to use this, but she was wondering, can I use Destiny? And she was able to do that. Now, I don't train on Destiny, so I'm not really sure, but I do want to just share it with you all as an idea that if you are and you have access to that, that this could be another option for you to utilize there within Destiny. And she was super excited about it and was, very easily linking stuff out and was creating a whole choice board right within Destiny. So great idea. You don't have to use the PowerPoints. That's just how I created them, or you don't have to use Slides Mania was the other free site that I shared that has some free choice boards. You could use tools that you already have available. It's just using the idea of choice boards and utilizing the content and tools you have available in your Gale and Context resources, because it's really simple to grab a link directly to content. And as I shared with you, easy to browse, easy to search through the content to find what you want to share with your students. So where you can go for additional support, you can go to the Discus Office Help Desk. And they are your first line of defense. So if you need support, you can reach out to them directly. The support site, support.gale.com/discus, is where you're going to find, well, you should all be probably accessing through the Discus site, but access URLs is something that we talk to folks about in South Carolina. But the Discus site has all of your resources, but the training center has tip sheets and tutorials, resource guides, upcoming webinars, escape rooms. We have escape rooms there too, templates, and also ready to go escape rooms. I think there's 2 for Gale and Context Elementary. Now we just added a new one. And then marketing materials, bookmarks, posters, social media posts. We also have content specific training materials that have been organized for you. So you'll see that in the training center. Tip sheets, or toolkits, training toolkits, where it takes you from the basics all the way to where you can go for additional help. And we've curated a lot of our training content here for you, including PowerPoint slides and webinars that you can watch. And then here's some of those marketing materials. So I did have a question about the bit.ly URL. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share one more link with you. Maybe that'll work. Support site, support.gale.com, is what I just shared with you. One-on-one support is your Gale customer success managers. Training survey should pop up when you leave me today. Just if you could click complete and go in and share any information you can. I do share that with Discus, so that would be great to have your input. And then again, my name is Tammy Burke. I'm your senior training consultant from Gale. And then thank you. Thank you for your time today. We're right at the end of our session. I hope to see you on our next session coming up. We've got some things probably planning over the summer that we'll be doing for Discus. And then here, try this one. See if this works. I'm going to try one more time on my end. It looks like, Susan, you're having some problems. I tried the bit.ly on my computer, but I can't access it without Microsoft. That is so weird. I could access the first one, but not the last 2. Any ideas? Okay, so the first one should still take you to the entire slide deck. So try that out while I have you on the line, and I'm going to grab it too. And I'll double check. I'm not sure why the one is giving a problem and the others aren't. Let me do this too. Manage access. Let's see. Okay, here's another. This is a very long link. I'm going to put it in the chat. See if that opens up for you. So that's what I put into a bit.ly URL. Okay, a couple in there that couldn't open. Okay, so yeah, I'll go. Thank you for that because they seem to be working, but something must have happened between last week and this week. So I apologize for that problem. I'm glad that you were able to get the information there, and then that slide deck again has not only those templates for you, but all of those uh, QR codes to the individual activities, and those should work just fine. But I'll go back in today and take a peek at those QR codes and see why they're not working. And you have this link will work. Same with the bit.ly one. It takes you right to my slide deck, and I'm not making any changes on, or when I make changes, it'll automatically update for you all also. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions. I will be happy to stay on the line, but that wraps our session. Thank you for being so engaged and asking questions. I do appreciate that during the training, so I'm not just talking to myself. I appreciate it, but thank you all for your time today. Have a great rest of your day. Watch for those follow-up emails and let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Thank you, everyone.